In this case, I think there were multiple factors, and the draft definitely didn't do him any favors, but they move into game 2. I mean, this streak doesn't look like it's ending tonight. The loss streak, that is, for Dplus, it looks like theirs will. But
yeah, it looks like Dplus straight back on the horse after what they were able to do yesterday. And let's just see whether that is going to continue into the second game as well. We actually saw that Smash and Korea were in the coach's booth afterwards as well, like going through some of the things, because there were some hiccups in the laning phase before they just decided to completely destroy them. And so probably just ironing out a few of those kinks. All right, the Varus, the Nocturne, the Orianna, and the Rumble once again banned away. These are exactly the bans that we had the last time around, and it is second pick for the DN Soopers, and so it is just going to be exactly the same draft as we saw last time around. But the Trundle, once again, going to be slinking into the ban list.
Yeah, interesting to see. Sion is also, once again, already fearlessly banned. Same with the Xin. So we kind of see the Xin and Jarvan in game 1 almost every time.
It might be a little bit of an Ashe Seraphine counter answer, right? Like the pillar can be very annoying.
Yeah. But like this is the exact same draft that we saw from T1.
Yeah.
Let's see if they try to pick away the Seraphine, or are they just going to go Ezreal?
Pick away the
and
Ezreal Nico. I mean, Ezreal Seraphine could be a thing.
That could be a thing.
They could decide to go that way. But then, I mean, then there's the Lulu draft angle here as well. But instead, it is going to be a look in towards the Pantheon for DDoiV.
Okay, he gets this one on lock now. See what they get with this. Ezreal is Enosh's 3rd most played pick, so has a lot of experience on it. 26 career games.
Keeping it in the family as far as Enosh's pick choices. I think this is way better. If you do want to pick away the Seraphine, this is the time to do it.
Well, then you also get to keep hidden what your lane partner is, and they'll have to grab their support here in response. Bard is available, but you mentioned the Lulu already has been so strong, and there are a few picks that Lucid can go for here that are empowered by the Lulu, like the very, very strong Nefiri pick. That we have seen a lot recently. Nocturne is banned, and obviously both the Xin and the Jarvan are gone, but
I would like to see the Nefiri. I think that's a really good shout.
I think we've seen in the past like a lot of Ambessa jungle with this type of situation, but I don't think that is very strong at the moment. Skarner.
Gnar would be a different choice.
Can be tricky into the Seraphine, but I do think it's been picked into Seraphine quite a lot recently and is finding that success.
You also have a lot of chain CC options as well. Like, you can ram someone into a wall, then wild growth the Skarner, then he gets a guaranteed impale. Like, it is a lot of CC on a single target if you do want to go that route, as this Ezreal is pretty face up and will be what Enosh is locking in here, needing to take away that bottom lane before extra bans do come on in.
Now, I was wondering if, like, Jhin was being considered. Is very, very tough to play into Ashe and Lulu. Seraphine and Ashe is harder no matter what you get, especially with the Caitlyn off the table, but see what he can get done here. I'm not too enthusiastic about this setup thus far for DN Soopers. I want to see Clozer and DuDu be on playmaking champions that Pantheon can follow.
Yeah.
They ban away one of those champions, that is the Twisted Fate. One of the ones that can lead the charge, play through the macro. It is one of ShowMaker's best picks right now, so it's not a surprise that one is banned away.
Yep, would be a good one. They could ban the Anivia and then pick a Ryze, and then you've got the Ryze Pantheon combo, which we have seen find a fair bit of success here in the LCK, although it did fall out of favor as the season went on. Certainly could still be a bit of an option with Anivia and the Cassiopeia both banned. The Ryze feels like it gets better and better. The Jace is going to be taken away. And then one final ban. If it is the Anivia, then I think a Ryze ban would be a decent option here.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of what else they would want to ban here. I think it is pretty simple. Unless they want to ban the Gnar once again.
They could get rid of that and then go for a Renekton lock-in and feel a little bit safer about it.
That's, I think, the choice you have to make, whether you want to deny the Gnar or do you want to deny the Ryze. Looks like they want to play Gnar, and they're saying you can have the Ryze. And then ShowMaker will still have counter pick.
We're going to need a lot of damage out of ShowMaker. I actually feel like the Twisted Fate would have been absolutely not what they wanted, because wouldn't exactly offer the big boom boom. But this was one of the most face-up things that we've ever seen.
I mean,
so now,
almost everything...
what is the obvious answer that ShowMaker had already prepared?
Yeah, it's almost everything that this draft has been for DNS has been pretty obvious, right? They're not really throwing any curveballs with this one.
Kassadin.
He does love to play the Kassadin.
Kassadin?
I do not suggest him to play the Kassadin.
Like Kassadin Lulu, though.
Yeah,
Rift walk in, get a big old knocker.
And then you just keep ulting on them while they can't kill you because you're huge.
Yeah.
LeBlanc kind of does a similar thing, but is actually a good champion and has power early.
Yeah, that might be a better option.
So I like that one more. The Gnar was pretty obvious. I think ShowMaker's still cooking. Yeah, like, all right, well, let's lock this in and get and reset the timer so I can cook for a second.
Maybe it's time for Rengar mid.
Oh,
don't know why I was talking about that. That's never been a thing. It's all right. The Taliyah going to be the lock away here for ShowMaker. Has previously been one of his favorites.
Don't look at that win rate. It's okay. It was a different time. We were experimenting a lot early this season, and it's okay. It's better now. It's stronger now.
But it's still going to be lower damage than we have seen before, as this would be a bit of a classic. DuDu going back to the Sylas into the Gnar.
Sylas into the Gnar, but also into Skarner is pretty crazy. If you can close the gap with your Sylas, set up a big Impale, the Seraphine follow-up is so strong.
It does mean that ShowMaker will have a lot of rocks value to utilize.
I just also really personally feel that even though Sylas is a counter to Gnar, it's because of his ability to steal the Gnar ultimate and use it at will. It's not to play against him in lane, where we have seen the Sylas struggle a lot. If you can get through the early levels and the harassment that you're going to get from mini Gnar and actually get some good trades off, and you hit that first Gnar, like there's actually an all-in timing there, and maybe you can get ahead, but otherwise you're just going to kind of be trying to get most of your gold and your advantages from early skirmishes around, for example, the early Grubs, Herald, and any other fight you can join, which is another reason why Sylas top can be tricky, because he doesn't top laners just don't join most of the early fights to get accelerated.
Yeah. Look, I do think DNS have come out of this draft looking pretty good. I think this DK draft is just a little bit lacking in the damage. The problem I see for DNS is that they just haven't been able to win very well. And if DK find themselves a bit of a snowball, this one's just over. What did that fan sign say, Will?
It was the sequel of Where His Lands to Where His Duck Top.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Well, we've lost him. He's somewhere backstage. And they're not going to find him. Probably not today, as the DN SOOPers look to try and hold on in this series with a win here in Game 2. All right, here we are, ladies and gentlemen, onto the Rift for the second game of this series. Is it another 4-gamer, Wolf? That is the question. The DN SOOPers, they could tell us no. They could say, no, it's 5. That's what we're getting today.
I hope they do. I think that would be really fun. I need a little bit more drama in my LCK today, because it's been a little quiet. The most dramatic thing that's happened is arguably the sign that says, where is Duck Dog?
Well, I mean, the drafts were a bit dramatic. The problem is the results from said drafts have been anything but, and it's just been more of the same as far as the results here for the DN SOOPers. That's all right. Career and Smash. I don't know whether this is going to be as powerful as the Ashe Seraphine lane, but we have seen Ashe Lulu do a fair bit of work.
Again, it's a test for Enosh in this lane, see what he can get done. And Life as well on the Seraphine. Played a lot of Seraphine games with Quantum, not as many with Life so far this season.
And look, I reckon that Enosh's win rate on Ezreal is probably better than his win rate on the Lucian, as that hop just does so much damage.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about.
Sorry, dude. He's going to get flashed. Oh, the range of the mini Gnar. Not enough to catch him after the flash.
I thought he had that auto flying for sure when the flash came through.
That's all right. Crush might get Siwoo in there, but looks like DuDu playing around that Kingslayer can obviously turn things, and Siwoo not going to get baited in, not this time.
You, ironically, in this matchup, prefer to be mini. You want to be able to hyper proc as he was doing there.
Just didn't quite have the hyper.
Siwoo is 5-0 on Gnar, by the way.
Yeah, Gnar's been kind of working out. for a few of our LCK top laners as Chain's going to miss. And there's that hyper proc you were talking about. Shio avoids getting hit by the turret. If he had have been hit by that turret, he would be dead. So glad that he did not.
DuDu has played Sylas twice already this season. Did pick up one of their wins on it, and it's tough in this matchup, but obviously DuDu has shown in the past that he likes to play this one out, and because he was able to survive there in the initial exchange, he's kind of gotten a lot of stability as a result of it, as flash trade feels pretty good for him.
Oh dear, DuDu does go with the ward first, and so spots Lucid. Face checking the Skarner could have been pretty dangerous here. Especially with
Taliyah in waiting. Pretty easy burst, follow up there, chain the CC down. And it'll just be a trade of Scuttle Crabs, as they dressed up as Scuttle Crabs, by the way, today on the Korean desk. I don't know why.
Yeah, I don't know why
I don't have the context, but they did do that.
Yeah, I saw that, and they were really janky as well. It was very cute. But still, zero context as to why.
It kind of looked like Splatoon characters to me.
I like that. Just a bit of an inkling.
Yeah, Chronicler knows about that.
Yeah, I unfortunately don't have an inkling as to what they were doing, which is a little bit of a shame. As the beat does drop, Enosh does proc the W, and Smash taking a fair bit of damage here in this lane. They're using a lot of blue stuff, but I don't think they're too worried about it.
Okay, well, this is going really well. Yeah, this is way better than last game.
There's a red number in the plus column at the top of the screen, Wolf.
Yeah.
I know it's only 4 minutes into the game, but we take these Ws, okay?
Absolutely. Looking really good. Continue to put that pressure on. Life will desync here, and we'll see Enosh take a quick back to grab a cull and tier. So investing in the future.
Yep.
But the tier buy,
battle stats.
The tier buy is always great on your first back. It's almost necessary. If you don't get that, you're really going to be super, super hurt, because you need the mana, but also you need to transform your Muramana on that 2-item spike. But the cull here is a little bit less common for the Ezreal, but
yeah, oftentimes you'd see like a boots buy as well, but wanting to maximize the amount of damage that he can have in the future is a pretty good idea, because I could imagine, like, things were already going okay in the lane, right? And you're never going to have as good a back as your opponent because you're playing Ezreal, unless you're playing into Corki, in which case you have the same back, right? Yes. So this was always going to be a little bit of a struggle. The recurve bow feels pretty good for Smash. He's got 2 of them in theory. He's got the Doran's version as well. Kind of cute. I've seen a few schools of thought as far as the Ashe first item. A lot of people still going with the Doran's Blade.
I personally think the Doran's Bow is way better. I think it's just so high value for the amount of damage you can get done in the early levels. And it's just always going to be relevant for Ashe as well. Lucid's down here, but he's just going to drop a control ward, and otherwise see if Smash and Career can maintain this prio, as we will have both junglers on the bottom side of the map here very briefly. Level 6 for DuDu. This is that timing I was talking about, but because he doesn't have flash, it's really hard to actually get on top of Siwoo. See when he decides to go for that hijack, because that's when Siwoo's going to need to play a little bit more defensively.
And Siwoo now with the transformation, not going to be a thing that DuDu is going to fight into. And so just going to be catching this wave underneath the turret.
Oh, those 2 minions took, I guess, an extra burst from the Q and could not be CS'd.
Ghosts procced all over the place.
Spooky.
Yeah. DuDu not going to quite find the angle. Seismic Shove is going to throw Clozer back, but the rock is going to miss.
Yeah, a bit of a BDD there on that one.
Oh no, not quite.
Everyone knows he's my favorite player, so it's okay if I say it.
Yeah, I hope so. That's all right. Enosh taking a lot of damage here. Smash going forward, finds the Q and finds the autos. The barrier comes down as Life almost able to get enough damage back on Smash to threaten him. And now Clozer, he smells blood in the water, thinking about going for a Realm Warp, but it is very low range at level 1. And so...
very close call.
Yeah, this is looking a little bit dire.
No defensive summoners for Life or Career.
All right, here's the angle. Like you were saying, the Gnar is going to push the Gnar back, and he goes down. That is first blood over to DuDu, and that lead in the red numbers is extending.
DuDu, a former bro, puts out the Morgan hands as well.
There it is.
You love to see it.
That is the only emote that I will use. I love it so much.
I have it set to all of my emotes.
Me too.
My wheel is filled with Morgan hands.
Yep, it's just everything. I feel like it's perfect in any context for anything that you're going to do. It's so good. Oh dear. All right.
Level 6 hit here. I mean, the true shot is powerful.
Yeah, able to sidestep though, picks the gap. And so that's a goal. We'll call that a goal, but we won't call it very good. All right, let's have a look at this one more time. DuDu steals away the ult.
Pantheon ult here, so powerful if you can chain anything together. He actually hits the chains before he Gnars, so he lines everything up there. And Siwoo just doesn't have any opportunity to outplay. Could have tried to flash if he had flash backup. It was very close, both of them there. If he had flash, I guess if he flashes the chains, that whole thing could have gone awry, but he did not flash for whatever reason, whether it was up or not. And so we do have him transforming Mega. Now he's just going to try to avoid interacting with DuDu, which I think is wise. DuDu's had a tear recently. Like, he solo killed several times, by the way, as Renekton into Vayne Zeus. This was a huge storyline in the EWC qualifier, but hasn't been able to translate these early leads and kills into wins for his team. But at least in the lane, his individual performance has been quite solid.
Yeah, now with still a little bit of an advantage, but not being able to pick up the kill does make you feel a little bit worse about the whole situation, as you don't get a big swing in the matchup. But still feeling fantastic, does still have a slight gold lead, especially after that minion wave is going to get taken down. Now equalizes, and you've got Siwoo moving back up there. Some protoplasm being collected here for Lucid, hits that first item, and the Skarner is very strong at this particular moment in time. We'll see whether DK can actually fight around it, because Lucid, bit of a herbivore at this stage of the game.
Yeah, we're not seeing big group ups for team fights just yet. I mean, neither objective has been taken, the Grubs nor the Dragon. DDoiV is doing it right now, though, with the prio they've been able to secure. I think Lucid's going to find out about it, yeah, and come over here and say, I don't think so.
Well, he's throwing some rocks around. Life is going to join up with his jungler, but it looks like the Dragon not going to be taken here, as Korea looking to close in on Enosh. We'll just join Lucid, and look at his health bar, man. Like, protoplasm, just kind of ridiculous.
I haven't considered, his is a very, very high value item for cost as well. I'm going to hold my thought, though, because Lucid may be looking for a bit of an impale angle here.
Yeah, some honey fruit going to get eaten there from Smash, just to keep him healthy in this lane. As Life really wants to get a ward in, but Lucid just going to pull him round, slams him into the wall. There's that wild growth combo we were talking about. The sidestep not quite good enough, but the Impale connects onto both! Enosh is able to arcane shift, but it's only after the fact. And the volley picks it up. Both of them able to tank the turret shot, and DK come alive.
Dplus with a huge win there in the bottom lane as Clozer getting some help here. Maybe they could catch ShowMaker, but he ghosts away. And it's a commitment here of the Pantheon ult for nothing, unfortunately, for DDoiV. But the thought I was going to have right before that happened was, I wonder how well the wild growth combo could work with Skarner, because it feels like it's pretty good, actually. You can't really stop him from getting on top of you, then you get wild growth. But he did everything there, and then at the last vestiges, used his Impale, and hits both of them. Like, if Impale, if it was on cooldown, this would have been a great call, right? Everything he does here, the wild growth comes through. Life ends up losing most of his health. It can follow up for a dive, but he's like, nah, I have Impale, by the way. Hits both. Enosh flashes away, but it is not going to save his life. Barriers the rock, but that actually makes sure that Smash gets the kill.
Oh, dear.
It was an okay start until it wasn't.
Yeah, the red number's turned into a blue number now at the top of the screen. And some grubs going to be taken here by Lucid. Does get all three of them. As Clozer does manage to avoid the seismic shove, but he cannot avoid the big arms of the Skarner, who comes on over and gives him a hug. And he doesn't really feel too excited about it. DDoiV now taking some damage as well. In the interim, has to flash to get out of the seismic shove. And Dplus, I thought this was going to be a low damage. Oh, okay. Pop goes the Gnar.
Siwoo didn't flash that one, actually, either, as it turns out.
I mean, I wouldn't know either. I kind of thought that he had one more ability left in him. As it turns out, the answer is no. Is okay. The Weaver's Wall comes in. The Impale is just going to hold him in position. Seismic Shove throws him around, and DDoiV, there's just not a whole lot he can do. Boulders being thrown around. Clozer is going to have to get out of there, and DuDu's winning, ladies and gentlemen. DuDu is winning.
DuDu is winning. This does feel like many of DuDu's old teams that he was on, including
DuDu is like, he's absolutely just young Keen. And he's on exactly the right team as it was DNS, formerly the Afrika Freaks.
Hey, to be fair, I mean, Keen was a big part of why Afrika was usually like in 6th place, all right?
Yeah.
We're not 1 in 11 most of the time.
I mean, honestly, it does feel like DuDu has got a bit of an extra task on his hands.
Siwoo kind of just walks into this, and the hijack is face up.
I think he just thought that he was going to have the transformation, and unfortunately didn't press a button in order to do so.
Yeah, DuDu just flashes on him before he can get it done. DDoiV here is just trying to have his jungle. Lucid says no, and the Weaver's Wall is here. Clozer can't stop ShowMaker from getting on top. ShowMaker just has enough mana here. And the kill does go over to Lucid, so I guess you could put that in the cons column for Dplus if there is one. I don't know if they've made a cons column in this game just yet.
No. And Lucid...
And maybe this DuDu's in the
2-0-1
cons column for them.
And I was actually putting Lucid in the cons column earlier on, right? I was saying that he wasn't exactly getting all that involved, but now he's kind of doing everything. It's Clozer taking a whole bunch of damage. This was previously a decent matchup for the Taliyah into the Ryze in times gone by. But then Taliyah fell out of favor just a little bit, has recently come back a little.
The item changes have been kind of awkward for Taliyah. I think is one of the big things. She also doesn't use Deathfire as easily as a lot of other mid laners that were meta before Phase Rush got removed, so that's also kind of a point against her, but ShowMaker's making none of that seem relevant because he's going to press R towards the bad guys and his team is ahead and has control over the map.
All right, here's a Realm Warp as Dplus might be able to get themselves out of here. That's just a Wild Growth to interrupt. Oh god, Korea, that was beautifully played. The Aegis Assault does come on through, but DDoiV is very far up. True Shot Barrage comes down. The snipe with the arrow. And Smash not quite able to get there to follow up that damage. Boulder is going to come on through here from Lucid. Does have Flash Impale available. Let's see whether he pulls the trigger. As they dive on top of him, he gets hit by absolutely everything, and he just walks it off. And now it's Smash that's trying to glide around this bottom lane. It's just not enough. And DNS will walk away.
DuDu looking like he gets shoved out here by the Gnar as well. And ShowMaker's getting maybe the whole mid turret because he did not follow Clozer.
That was a 4 versus 3, wasn't it?
He did not show up because he didn't have his Weaver's Wall yet. He does now, but obviously he didn't take teleport because he's Taliyah. So he's just going to end up getting like, it looks like about 90% of this turret. And they will also get the dragon. So yes, they get out. DDoiV was somehow able to escape there. But it just doesn't matter because the end result is still Dplus getting way more on their proactive play. DNS's proactive play here. This Wild Growth timing means DDoiV also picks up turret aggro as he goes in. There's no minion wave here. And then this True Shot Barrage doesn't even hurt Lucid. And DNS learned several times throughout the skirmish that Lucid will not be hurt or killed. They're like, that was the first time, this is the second time, and then one more? Yeah, no, he can't. He won't be hurt. He actually flashes there. I don't even know if he needed to, but didn't want to get hit by that true shot or the Q there coming out from Enosh.
I think also it was a bit of a solidarity flash. You know, like they deserved his flash after that. Smash, all right, just going to walk at them. Just avoids the beat drop, and Dplus once again completely in control of this game. It's 2,000 in the lead at 15 minutes. It is a smaller lead than in game number 1, so some positives to be gathered here, but they are few and far between.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think the Sylas is going to be the one who could carry the game. We might get another solo kill. Nope, not this time.
Yeah, steals away a Gnar. As here's the turn, gets some buttons back. There's the Gnar into the wall, lands the chains. Flash out from Siwoo. He's going to get him to safety, but it doesn't feel like safety, not in this lane. DuDu has a point to prove here.
Yeah, maybe I should have stopped my words early on this. Not this time. He almost gets it, as they are going to get this mid turret fully, and it will be the first turret of the game to go over here to Dplus as a punish on DuDu.
Oh dear, Weaver's Wall comes down, and yeah, playing the Sylas into Taliyah just doesn't feel all that fun, does it? That's a solo bolo actually, as Siwoo hadn't touched him in a little while.
Still pretty nice attempt there to turn it into something, I guess, from good old DuDu. But he almost got the kill onto the Gnar, right? Almost able to pull it off. He gets punished. They lose a second turret. And almost just isn't good enough, you know, for DNS, especially with how far behind now their Ryze and Ezreal are. The death of DuDu is the only winning position they have on the map.
This kind of, it just feels like Dplus have more players on the map. Like, it just doesn't feel very fair. The DN SOOPers just getting stretched too thin, unable to find the answers, and even though DuDu is having a really good game, right? He's 500 gold in the lead. Siwoo just hasn't been able to find any impact.
I thought Clozer was the best Sylas on this team.
Yeah,
you know?
As it turns out, it's
debatable.
Well, yeah, maybe it's not guaranteed. But I do think that DuDu is looking fantastic in this game. The problem is everything else isn't.
Yeah, that is the truth. As this Ezreal pick is going to need a little bit more time, at least to get a Cole's worth of gold. to help it hit its second item here. Got a few more minutes before that breakpoint would ordinarily come through. We're looking at Chemtech second here. We don't know what the soul is going to be just yet, since it's a bit of a late dragon game here, late Drake game for Dplus. If they double dragon, though, the chances of a high rolling soul are there.
Yeah, I'm a little bit frightened. Like, if they get a Hextech soul, for example, yeah. I mean, Dplus yeah, that's never really going to be a possibility. Double dragon is already just really powerful. And Lucid throwing some rocks around. Some volley damage there as well coming through from Smash, but not going to be able to lock down anyone at this current moment.
Good old grasp.
Yeah.
Skarner in the jungle, just doing damage, getting a huge lead, being unkillable.
Trying to hit people when he can. All right, Smash clears out the wave. And Dplus are just choking them out of their own jungle right now. And this is the perfect way to play a snowballed game, right? Just deny as much money as you possibly can. And it is so hard for DuDu to play this game. Already you can see, like, he's close to level 11, but it's about a 1.5 level advantage here for Lucid. He's got 2 items completed already. And we mentioned the immortality situation here for the Skarner. I think that that is only going to continue here in this game.
Yeah, not to mention, I mean, the base resistances he already has. With this Ryze needing 3 items to do a lot of damage, the Ezreal just chipping. Like, you see that 0 in the middle of the column of his KDA? I don't know if that's going to change.
Yeah.
Even if Dplus lose this game somehow, some way, like, I don't know if that number changes. There's so much map control here. When Skarner has map control, he can pop out of anywhere. You always have to respect that.
Yeah, this is the problem. It only makes the issue worse. As Arrow going to connect onto life here. There's the max range Impale to pull back the Seraphine. Still able to get that beat drop down, and Smash did not want to overextend into a potential stun. The rock is going to come down. Mikhails is there to help the Seraphine. Is now ShowMaker looking to try and stop DuDu from getting in here, but DuDu has Clozer coming along over. And the seismic shove creates some space. DuDu once again with an odd angle on that ulti, and the flash is coming through from everyone. And Siwoo's in the top lane. He's like, no, I do not want to interact with the enemies. I don't want to do that, not this game. And Dplus, they just walk away.
Yeah, like ShowMaker, by the way, walk away for him might be a bit of a stretch because he was an escape artist on that one. Hold up, we're going to see once again DuDu find an attempt.
She just throws him into the wall, just says, no.
Not this time.
I want nothing to do with this. Lucid should be able to take this Drake. I don't think there's going to be any answer.
Let's see
pings out on DuDu on the Raptors.
Let's see what the soul is. I feel like Infernal Soul could be good for DNS coming back into this game, maybe. You know, if they start stacking those up, the deficit feels less bad as because the Skarner can appear anywhere. Sometimes he's just in your face and then you get arrowed. And that was what happened to Life. He did not flash, just healed and backed away. As ShowMaker runs away from the Realm Warp, gets off the wall here, then is able to outplay DuDu, gets the shove out, rocket belts away, then gets sped up, avoids the Pantheon ultimate, avoids the charm, and then he gets away. Good job, ShowMaker. They can't catch you.
There was a bunch of flashes used, right, in trade of only lives. But, you know, 2 flashes for 1 is all we're really talking about here. It's the flash to get out of the way of the Gnar. That was very nicely done. And unfortunately, DNS unable to get the catch onto the 0-2 Gnar.
They commit so many resources to try to catch that Gnar, and this time he flashes.
Turret as well.
Yeah. I don't think ShowMaker is going to really be contested here. It's pretty low. There's a Ryze coming over, so see how quickly you can clear that. But either way, it's going to be an extra bit of damage onto this turret. As you can see here, the plate will go over, and they're actually rotating. So you know what? I think they will eventually get it. Clozer?
Yeah, Clozer's just going to walk up. Smash is going to show up, though, and so the flash does have to come on through. Seismic Shove was on cooldown, so unfortunately not going to be there after the arrow. And he will be able to walk away.
And Dplus are just... the macro is good, but I don't even think it's like an advanced macro game. They're just moving as a group here and punishing DNS, trying to use multiple people and chasing down single targets to their advantage. Like, oh, if you're going to group that many people into one lane, we'll get value in 2 other lanes. And as long as Siwoo gets out, it's okay for us. And he did. And I think even if Siwoo dies there, getting 2 inner turrets is always going to be worth, but he doesn't die. So it's really just his flash in exchange.
Oh dear. Okay, so 6,000 gold is the lead. We're cresting the 22-minute mark right now. It is a Hextech soul in this game. And look, before we say that if Dplus get this, it's probably game over, if DNS stack up 4 of them, it's also looking like a much better situation for them. But that does also mean that they've won about 4 fights in this game, and that might be a little bit of a difficulty here with how powerful Dplus are with all this extra money.
If it was a 1,500 gold lead for Dplus, we could have that conversation. It's 6,000 is the problem. The biggest of which is still on this Skarner that they just can't hurt. They can't kill him.
Well, they're going to try. As here's the Realm Warp. They're looking to close in, and instead he just drives his lawnmower out of there.
Don't forget, he also has the shield on top of that if they can get him low enough to proc it.
Yeah. All right. Well, so that's why you wear your safety harness, everyone. Make sure that you're all going to be okay. That's all right. DuDu, still the most powerful of this team. Gets himself a wild growth, actually, as he looks to try and get some damage down onto Siwoo, but Siwoo is now in a much better position here in this game. A lot more mobile as well, with his Black Cleaver Trinity Force complete.
It's really hard to say good things about what's going on here for DNS. I don't mean like they're all playing badly. It's 4 to 2 kills at 23 minutes. It's not like they're getting wiped. They're just getting outplayed on the map. And their decisions of where to collapse, where to pinch have not been good. And now Dplus are just going to start this Baron for free with ShowMaker holding the wall here. Can try to deny entry completely, or...
Oh dear, there's a seismic shove, and Career is actually the one that picks up the kill somehow. That's exactly the one that they wanted to take down, though, as now Dplus, with no fear of getting out-smited, and will just be able to take this Baron. Siwoo taking control of this mid lane as well as best he can.
It's a simple equation, right? Dplus know there's no vision. They start the Baron. DNS are aware of it, but someone has to check, but they have the trap there. They use the Baron as a trap and spring it onto the jungler. Look at the control vision here. DDoiV is just trying to get any information possible. And if it's a Seraphine who checks, she dies even faster. But because the jungler is the one that's safest to check because he has his shield, he dies. It's a guaranteed Baron. Maybe DDoiV should have just ulted in, frankly, if he was going to be checking. Maybe he just gets lucky because Dplus were always going to kill him, I think, in this situation. But what are you going to do? That's the question for DNS. Like, what could they have done better in this game state? I think the answer is maybe not get into this game state and have a better early game across the map, because from here on out, just like game 1, there aren't good choices to make.
I think Realm Warp everyone on top of someone. That's probably what you want to do. All right, speaking of pressing some R buttons, it is going to be DuDu making his way in there, looking for Siwoo, whose Gnar bar will be coming back up. And DuDu looking to make his way through. Doesn't land the chains, but gets the Gnar onto the Gnar. Down goes the Gnar.
Yeah, but just like last time, it's going to be at the cost of some map presence here and some structures, as the arrow may stop a back or two.
Well, just one. It actually over towards Clozer, so he will have that back stopped.
Yeah.
That should guarantee another inhibitor turret, probably this inhibitor in the bottom lane as well. I don't know whether they can get mid-inhib, but with the turret going down, it's as if it's gone. And in fact, they are just able to walk their way over. Life is going to get pulled up and manages to get the charm thanks to Lucid. That was kind of crazy. Now you got mid laners battling on the other side, and DuDu is just going to get wiped out. Flashes have to be employed to get out of the way of the Impale. And Clozer running for the hills. DuDu also not able to make his way in, as this Taliyah pick is really making it so difficult for these flanks to come through from DNS. Still something that DuDu wants to look for here, as ShowMaker wants to get him away from them once again. As Lucid with that big old shield, that's another beat drop to come on through, but Life is so close to dead. There goes Clozer, and now the Wild Growth Smash is looking to lock them up. That's a great Wild Growth to come through from DuDu though, and he takes down the Ashe. The question is, can he actually do anything else? And the answer is no. As they take him out, Lucid gives him the good old thumbs up. Man, this guy has some feelings today on Summoner's Rift. And Dplus, they will be able to take down their second Nexus of the night. And what a return to form from this team, as they did lose both series last week and came back with a vengeance here today.
Really showcasing the difference in LCK veteranship versus challengers on the rise, right? Because we did see, I mean, ShowMaker is the only one from the old guard.